Yo, I didn't know this. Nah, nah, nah. That is peak. That is peak. I went on a ramble as well. Nah, it happened. Do you know what's crazy? Yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad you. I'm glad I checked. What you lot are saying because, fam, it happened to KG. Yeah, a couple of months ago. Was it a month ago? It's something like that. And fam, I was creasing in the comment. I can't lie. When I was in it, the free seats like yourselves at the moment, I was busting. I was like, yo, fam, nah, yo, OTC is miming, fam. Some Somali chaplain, some Somali Charlie Chaplin, then way there. All right, let's talk about fam. It's been a it's been a funny entrance onto the show. But first and foremost, let's get the likes up. I don't know, let's have a like target. What did the last stream do actually? Good question. What did the last one do? And we'll just work off that. So the last one we did was a bit earlier this week on. I can't really see it. Okay, don't worry. Let's start. Let's start with as much likes as humanly possible. Big up to you guys as all in the free seats. You've been done for Skyline. Always showing much love and support. Big up Bruce Kai. What do you see? Let's ready to let it loose. Let's go. Absolutely, bruv. It's one of them ones. Trust me. I was miming from some Somali Charlie Chaplin, fam. That's what I was on. Um, where do we begin? Um, the sport has been run that poor. What the flip? Yeah, the sport's been run that poor. Like it's a bunch of shenanigans. But let's start off with something that's hot off the press before we get into the Chisora versus Tyson Fury. Our mate Dillian White is returning to the ring. He'll be returning to the ring November 26th, to my understanding. And he'll be boxing at Wembley Arena against Jermaine Franklin. Now, Jermaine Franklin, I'll be honest, never heard of the guy, right? I had to look him up. I think he's ranked 50 something on BoxRec, like 51, 52, something like that on BoxRec. Yeah, not really a good place to start. We'll talk about BoxRec later on as well. We're going to be talking about a lot of that. I don't. Well, I'm for Dillian White. Okay, let's talk about Dillian White. His last fight was against Tyson Fury, where he was knocked out by an uppercut. Now, Tyson Fury is not the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, and my opinion, and a lot of people at that period of time, was that Dillian White needs to just fight regularly. Next fight, he needs to build up his confidence and fight somebody, not fight somebody credible, but fight somebody give him some test to an extent, but slap him up and on to the next one. So maybe a top 20 guy, and then come up against a guy that's top 10, top 15, and then kind of make that that resurgence to becoming in a position where you can challenge for world title. However, the starting point where I thought fight a warm-up fight, I didn't think fight like this level of a warm-up fight. There's levels to this, yeah. When I say warm-up fight, I'm not talking about flipping bin men and cab drivers. Well, I'm not sure he's a bin man or he's a cab driver, but that remains to be seen. But like, there's a threshold that I'm referring to, and I think he's got a little bit under the threshold, but it is what it is. He's out in November 26th. The undercard as well. It looks decent as well. We've got Richard Riakpo, not Richard Riakpo, Craig Richards versus Bolotniks. We've got Sandy Ryan on the card as well. Is it Sandy Ryan? No, Shanto. Bruv, I'm bugging out. Apologies. We've got Gorman versus Fabio Wardley, which should be an interesting affair for the British title. So it's a decent card. It's happened later on in the year on the Eddie show. Well, Eddie needs to really pick up because it's been a poor season for him. It's been a poor 2022 for Eddie. Or maybe it's been a good one for the rest of the promoters. Because even Kale Saulen, for him, he's had the Misfits card, and that's been a real success. And that's really been a lot of it's been in the UK as well. Eddie, how many pay-per-view fights has Eddie had in the UK this year? Well, actually, in the UK, I'm not talking. AJ was in. Well, where was AJ fight? AJ fight was in the Middle East. It was in Saudi Arabia. So What else? Nothing. Literally, I don't think there is literally a single one in the UK this year, and that's selling something. That's really selling something. But ultimately, I'm happy that Dilly White can come out. Could be a better opponent, but it is what it is. You know, when you're dealing with people between the, I don't know, rank 50 to rank maybe 25, they can all kind of beat each other. It's one of them words. They're like they're very harshly ranked, you know. But it is what it is. Good, you know. Hopefully, he should win, and then always and upwards. I wanted to cover the ring against Andrew Ruiz. I think Andrew Ruiz is an amazing opponent for Didion. Who else is an amazing opponent for Didion? Um, it's tough because it's the uppercut factor. It's the uppercut factor. But onwards and upwards, Dilly White will be boxing November 26th. And yeah, it should be an exciting affair. But as much as I like Dillian, there's one guy who we're not going to give him that level of grace. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Let me drink my water before we get into it. Hold on. Hold on. Because this is about to be a cooking, yeah? The heavyweight champion of the world. The greatest fighter of this generation. Okay. The most abundant heavyweight in the UK, the most relevant fighter in the world, according to him. He's very charitable as well. As he likes to shove it down our faces as well. I don't know why he loves to shove it down our faces. Do you know how many people donate to charity and they don't actually shove it down your throats? Like, it's like I don't understand that level of mindset and that level of thinking. It's a very abnormal way of operating, if you understand where I'm coming from. Because I think in the UK, I think per demographic as well, I think the largest contributor to charitable organizations is, I think, the Muslim community in terms of per capita and how much they operate and how much they give for the size that they are. But it's frowned upon if you do that. Like that kind of action is quite frowned upon. If you go about give like, oh, I'm gonna give someone a homeless man 20 quid, I'm gonna film it at the same time, bruv. Like, allow it, man, allow it. But anyway, that's another story for another day. We digress. Tyson, the Gypsy Fraud King, Fury, is fighting Derek War Chisora. This one, I've got nothing against Derek Chisora. I think Derek Chisora is a good fighter. I think, he's one of the most entertaining guys to watch in the division. He's the one with the weirdly, in terms of his mentality to get into the ring and to fight the top level opposition as much as he possibly can and give it his all. He's probably one of the best in the division at doing that. However, Derek Chisora already fought Tyson Fury. Yeah, it's not like this is a new person he's getting in the ring with. And Tyson Fury beat him on 2 occasions. Literally on 2 occasions. Remember, last year we were talking about Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder before the third fight, which third fight was quite entertaining. But before that, nobody wanted the third fight. We saw, like, the evidence was clear. This is very similar, to be fair. He beat Chisora. The first fight, a little bit more competitive, but the second fight was just a complete, utter dominating performance from the Gypsy Fraud King. And questions have to be asked. Why Chisora? Chisora has got what? How many losses in his career? 11, 12, something like that. It's got into double digits at this point. He's lost recently to Joseph Parker on 2 occasions, who Joseph Parker happy to also lose against Joe Joyce recently as well, and got knocked out against Joe Joyce as well, may I add. He lost to Alexander Usyk, who you refer to as the blown up middleweight. So the blown up middleweight beat the guy that you're trying to sell us is the best fighter you can come up against. Okay, bearing in mind the guy that you've been taking a piss out of, that blown up middleweight, doesn't appear to be given any level of credibility for his heavyweight activity of being Anthony Joshua and Derek Chisora. That's just an irrelevant factor. But we digress. Now, Tyson Fury, and you know what, Frank Warren as well. But I'm not going to give Frank Warren too much stick, to be fair, because I'm starting to get the gist of how it works in their camp. Okay, Frank Warren may give his 2 cents in every now and then, but the main driver especially when it comes to direction and the big decision making, it comes down to the Tyson Fury. It's similar to AJ and Eddie Hearn. The biggest um, the biggest decision makers are the fighters in this circumstance. Not for every fighter that's under their camp, but for this one, it's those guys. Now, Tyson Fury has come out and said to Frank Warren, listen, I want to fight Alexander Usyk. Fantastic. You want to fight Alexander Usyk. I think that's amazing. Alexander Usyk, bring. Alex Krasuk, listen, my friend, Alexander Usyk not ready. Yeah, he's injured. All right, mate. Fair enough. Cool. Sweet. Happy days. Okay. He's injured. What can you do? What, you're gonna pull him out of the hospital? You're gonna spark him out inside, in a dressing gown. Like, what are we doing here, fam? Yeah. Then he said, okay, cool. Who's the next best available person? Anthony Joshua. Fair enough. But let me tell you something. And he bet Frank Warren 10K that the AJ fight won't gonna happen. Already, you're setting yourself up for failure. At this point, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because right now, you do not have the motivation and the desire to get this fight over the line. You've got a desire to be proven correct. That's a completely different story. Imagine, guys, just think about it, right? Think about it. You want to get a job here. You're in the job interview. You've got to bet your friend, right? That, listen, I bet you they're not even going to give me the job. Huh? I'm sorry, mate. Oh, excuse me. I know that I went to charity, which happens to be affiliated with, Frank Warren, but that's another story for another day. You bet your promoter £10,000 that the fight won't happen, and during that negotiation period, you then come out with videos on your Instagram, sign the contract, is the deadline. Bearing in mind, it took them 3-4 months before that last year, before the arbitration with Wilder, to have an agreement in place for the undisputed fight between AJ and Fury last year. It took them 3-4 months to get that over the line. After 2-3 weeks, yeah, they were happily on the verge of pulling the plug. Yeah, on 2-3 weeks, they're happy to pull the plug. Yeah, that to me doesn't appear as somebody who's open to fighting somebody at whatever cost. You are happy to be proven correct. Now you're fighting Derek Chisora, and I heard all of the talk about flipping English, like I want to. This fight will boost the economy of Ratata, bruv. Like, but have I got mug written on? I've got fresh ego. Yeah, rest in peace. Or written on my cap. I ain't got mug written on my cap. Yeah, the moment I've got mug written all over my cap, that's when I'm willing to accept all of this nonsense and jargon. Yeah, I'm not willing to accept this. Yeah, if you're kind of come up with the most random and stupid stuff to justify as to why this fight, a trilogy with a guy who you beat conclusively on 2 occasions 10 years ago, with Chisora, was it 10 years ago? It's 2022. A little under 10 years ago, okay, around that period of time. That at that period of time was an undefeated fighter, to my understanding, or if not, had 1 or 2 losses on his record. You're telling me you're going to justify as to a fight with Derek Chisora is the best opponent you could come up against? The best, the greatest opponent, the greatest, yeah? Joe Joyce, where's he at? Where is Joe Joyce? Frank Warren says he can't write, he won't be ready. He won't be ready for it. December 3rd. Fair enough. Would he be ready for December 17th? Would he be ready for December 30th? I don't know what day that is, but would he be ready for the end of December? Maybe first week of January. Would he be ready for that? I'm asking the question. The women's fight was postponed for 3-4 weeks due to the passing of Her Majesty the Queen. and they all of them appear to be ready for the rescheduling October 15th. Okay, so that's a 4 week period. I'm talking about just a 2 week pushback. A two No, that was the 6 week. Was that? No, yeah, that was the 6 week delay. I'm talking about like a week or two afterwards. Come on, man, bruv. What kind of foolishness is this? What kind of this is what I'm saying, yeah? All of these are just dumb excuses. Now, Chisora, yes, he's eighth rank on the box rec, okay? But had this fight been pushed a week, two, or maybe like a couple of weeks, you know, maybe the first or second week of January, we could have even had the AJ fight. We could have had the AJ fight. We could have had the Ruiz fight. We could have had the the Joe Joyce fight. We could have had, who else could we have had? What else? What else? What else? What else? You know what? I was comfortable if he was going to fight a tune up at that period of time and then schedule Usyk like 8 weeks later. I would have been happy with that as well. Personally, I'd say if he done that, I would have been cool with it. Yeah, because I know he's if he signed the contract with Usyk, provided that he done it and it's all written, I would have been cool. But that remains to be seen. It's poor. Yeah. And for me, I think this man is the main culprit of all of this shenanigans. This nonsense comes from this man. I'm not blaming Frank Warren. I'm not blaming Frank Warren on this one because I'm reading between the lines. And Frank is saying, listen, Tyson wants to fight in December. Tyson wants it. Bruv, listen. All of this is the reason why we're in this situation, okay? But and it's the irony. This is at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in December, in the winter time with no roof. The no roof part, I could care less. I'm sorry, but because every other sport they play no roof bloody go to Formula One, tennis, cricket, what else? Football, rugby, they all play with no roof. Join the club, fam. Yeah, boo hoo. I'm not sorry. I'm not gonna feel sorry for boxing fans in this for this reason. I'm not for the fights not happening, for the promotion, for the sport being all messed up. Fair enough, but this, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be Premier League football clubs are going to be packed up, and it might even be raining sometimes. Yeah, so it is what it is. One of them ones. But anyway, run over on Tyson Fury. Yeah, poor, poor, poor choice of opponent. I do like Chisora. I was one of the people that wanted Chisora to retire after the Pulev fight. This is a world title for him, and if I was advising Chisora, I would have said, "Fantastic, go for it." World title, mate. Go for it, right? Go for it. Because everyone thinks you're going to lose. You've got 10, 11 losses on your record. You get a bag of, you get what, your career highest payday, probably. You can fight for a world title. Like, great. It's a great deal for Chisora. Great deal for Chisora. And I think Chisora is he deserving of this? I don't think it's justified, no. But in that run over, I do hope that Chisora does win. Inshallah. Inshallah he wins. If he loses, it's peak. It is peak. If Chisora loses, I'm going to be a bit on my apologies, guys. I have to go off for one. Sorry. It's bruv. So when I heard the news here, I was like, bruv, you've got to be kidding me, fam. Can't stay, but I'm throwing you a thumbs up. Keep up the good work, brother. Tony review, much love for the contribution and much love for the support you've been showing me as well. It's greatly appreciated on the channel. You might as well. I'm the big Chisora fan on earth. I'm happy that Dell is getting paid, but I'm not excited for the fight. Exactly. Listen. I like KSI. I like KSI. I like Deji. I'm fans of these people, but I wouldn't want them getting in the ring with what's it called? Like Lawrence Okoli, for example. Like, come on, man, bruv. Especially if it's the case with that fighter. This could be the last time they fight in the UK. That's the mockery. Chisora's not even what is it? The top 3 best fighters in the UK. You could. Yeah, he's not. He's not. Joe Joyce, Anthony Joshua, and then you could chuck in Dillian White. As bad as his loss against Fury was, he's still top 3 in the UK, believe it or not. Before I go, Chisora is coming off of a win against Pulev. I like Chisora's fight better than AJ versus Areola. Um, I I agree. That's a better fight than AJ versus Areola. But the AJ fight is a bit different because AJ is coming off a loss, and AJ being the A side is coming off a loss. So AJ is on that rebuild vibe. Areola wants to make a name for himself. So there's benefit for both people. Chisora and Tyson Fury. I'm sorry, but what benefit does Tyson Fury have for a fight for getting in the ring and beating a fighter who he happens to already have beaten to before? It's a pointless exercise, personally, and that's what I would say. Big up Maestro, yo 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 yo. Salute to the whole chat. Big up Maestro. I'm showing much love and support as well out there in NYC. Come on, man. So I don't. I ignore me. That part, ignore me, man. I've been watching too many rap videos. Yeah, too many sway in the morning videos. So like, it's a bit mad. I need to come off it, to be fair. Anyway, Fury will retire again after the Chisora fight. Mate, what kind? Like, he's had a what? Personally, okay, this is what I feel it's come down to. You know, if you watch football, you know what I'm talking about. You know, player power, right? It's a real thing. Player power is a real thing. Yeah, it's where the players or the athletes have full control of or have a complete dominance of the big decisions, the club decisions, etc. They've got a lot of power within their rank. Personally, this is what's happening in boxing. Now, if Tyson Fury is always to listen, Tyson, you got to fight this person, this fighter, or we're not having it. We're just gonna suspend your license. And, you're gonna have to do. I don't care what you do, but we're gonna suspend your license, okay? And you're gonna have to figure out afterwards. I guarantee you, he'll say, "Flip it out. I get in the ring." How many Tyson Furies are there really in football? And if there are, I guarantee you, they've not gone far in their career. Who else? Ravel Morrison. Not Mario Balotelli. He don't count. He's a bit of a nutcase, but he don't count. He don't count. But like a guy that's just completely just all over the place, sniffing cocaine, etc. You're not going to go far in the sport of football if you do those stupidness. They'll just release you and get someone else in who's willing to jump in and they can pick off and they've got full control, not the actual individual athlete. Because if it's down to them, even though it will be good from the face value, they're the commodity. They should make the key decisions. Okay. The issue is that those guys in the real world may not be the best decision makers in general. Straight up honest, yeah. If boxing wasn't there, a lot of these boxers might not be the greatest decision makers. If these were maybe managers in whatever store, they may not be the best to work with or be cooperative with. They may not be the best at choosing the right choices for themselves and for others. And we're leaving the sport down to the hand of people who, it's peak. I respect fighters, but this is why I think that there needs to be an overarching governing body to govern the sport and to dictate who fights who and when. Simple. And you could only fight a list of a threshold between this ranking and this ranking. Who's available? Nobody else. And of course, likewise, it should be for all of those people as well. So you can't be like, oh, I can't fight AJ because AJ fight Areola. Nah, you got to fight AJ. And AJ can only fight people who are like in that ranking. You understand? Wind does affect punches though. You need a roof. That's jokes. Even the strongest of winds. Do you know what? Boxing in extreme conditions. That's a great, bruv. I just thought of it, man. A documentary for boxing in extreme weather conditions, boxing in the Antarctica, boxing in Sahara Desert, like promoting a fight in flipping the mountain, the actual mountains, like the Himalayas. Bruv, I think that could work, you know. I, bruv, you know, my mind is ticking, you know, I swear. Sorry, boxing in extreme weather conditions. That would be mad. That would be some mad reality TV show. With headgear, of course, like headgear, whatever, like an actual, that would be sick. But then the fighter health element is gonna have to wait for a couple of nutcases to get it. Chisora will do it. Give Chisora £1 million or £2 million, he'll crack on it. He will do that. If there's any man to do that, it'll be Derek Chisora. Um, and I like Derek Chisora. Don't get me twisted, but he's a cool brother. But speak. Joyce just fought. Joyce actually fought September the 24th, which means what? He can fight in January, second week of January. Andy Ruiz can fight him. For me, I think there's no excuse. I think the issue predominantly with a lot of the fighters, a lot of the fighters that Frank mentioned, is not available, not available, not available, not available. It's because of the date. It's literally because of the date. Because a lot of them fought in August or September. Okay, and if they fought August and September, a majority of those fighters are probably going to be available December, more than likely January. Yeah, Fury fought in in April, end of April. No, yeah, it was the end of April, wasn't it? 30th of yeah, it was the end of April. Um, in Wembley Stadium. Before end of April, Wembley Stadium. That wasn't really a hard fight to begin with. To be fair, I think Fury could have fought at the same time as AJ. The more I think about it, I think if Fury were to become active, he could have fought a week, 2 weeks after AJ fought in that window of opportunity. I think he could have fought. It is what it is. Great question, you man. Hold on. This is a great question. Hold on. I've got it on screen. Let me just read it out loud. Okay. OTC. Would you be in favor of an 8-month title defense clause? If you don't defend your title every 8 months, you will be stripped. 100%. Absolutely. For me, I am 100% in favor of this. Maybe not 8 months. Maybe have it a little bit shorter. I would argue 6 months. I would argue six. But then again, a lot that will come with a lot of problems as well. If you think about it, let's say for example, Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. They want to schedule a fight. They're arguing with each other. They want to schedule a fight. The issue is, and this is a very key issue, is that if Errol Spence knows that Terence Crawford's got 3 months off till let's say his belt expires, okay, why are you going to fight him? You could just fight like the person who is going to win the belt straight afterwards. It will make an easier avenue for people to duck you especially unifications. It will make easier for people to duck unifications if it means an 8-month strip. And that's where the difficulty is. And I understand the idea behind it. I don't think it should be a title defense. I think it should be a fighter clause, irrespective of that. I don't think it should be just for titles. I think it should be anybody ranked in the top 15 of heavyweight or whatever weight you want to name. Well, whatever weight, for me, the parameter should be relevant to the weight class that it relates to. So, for example, if you are a minimum weight, then it should be every 4 months, 5 months, something like that. It'll be something like that before 5 months, something like that. Maybe okay, maybe 6 months for the for them, man. Okay, for heavyweights, you're right. Maybe 8 months, maybe 6 months, something like that. It should be like a definite like. So if you don't fight in that period of time, but then again, I'm not in favor of that one. If there's not those same people asking for that fight to happen against this fighter, against this fighter. So they don't mandate the top 15 heavyweights and say Ruiz versus Wilder or Dilly White versus Dubois or Joyce versus Ruiz, or I don't know. Like, if it's not that, then that part makes it null and void, because you're gonna have people fighting bums often. You're gonna have people ducking unification fights in the hope and anticipation that somebody else is going to pick up that other belt, because he's asking for too much. So we're just going to wait for his thing to expire. Meanwhile, I'm going to fight a couple of other decent names. I'm going to wait for his thing to expire. When it expires, you can fight him, and or you can fight, like, the interim will be the champion in that period of time, and I'll just fight the interim for a better offer and keep it as a revolving door. Like, it comes with its challenges, but I understand the value and the sentiment of it. Oh, if you get injured, you'll be interim. I think that's already a case anyway. I think if the main champion is unable to defend his belt, in theory, the interim champion should be the main champion. The issue is that it's certain governing bodies, for argument's sake, WBA, they take so long. It takes them 2 years to even strip a guy. Pause. Big pause. It takes a year and a half, 2 years to even take a belt from a guy who's been sitting on it for time, has not fought once. So for that, I'm of the belief that it's a very difficult thing to legislate for across all of the governing bodies, which means that you need an overarching governing body to look after the sport. But of that, looking after the sport, and the reason why we need an overarching governing body is because we will not get into situations where we fighters are not getting a ring with other fighters, the best in their division. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. My oh my. These two, bloody hell. I'm not going to play the blame game. Okay. I'm not going to play the blame game in this second thought, because I don't know all the information. I'm straight up honest. I don't know all the information. As far as I'm aware, I'm hearing that Errol Spence could be the one who's stalling this, but I don't know the key facts, so I can't really go deep into it. But this fight seems to be one that may or may not ever happen, and it's one of them scenarios. Personally, I don't think it will happen, and I think if it does happen, it will happen like a Amir Khan versus, Kell Brook, where they're about 45 years old, they're washed up, they're on their way to retirement, and they both decide to fight each other, even though Terence Crawford might be well over the hill at that point. They just decide to fight each other at that point. For me, it's disappointing, and I think that for both parties, particularly Errol Spence, should decide to himself, listen, I'm going to leave Al Heyman at this point, because right now you are serving me no purpose, because I've beaten all of the fighters on your roster. I've beaten your Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, the top guys he's already beaten before. So what value does Al Heyman have to his career at this point? Very little. Very little. He beat Sean Porter. Like, how many fighters is it there? Who else? What? You've got Virgil Ortiz, you've got the other guy. You've got Jaron Ennis. And then what? Like, Terence Crawford is the fight that we all want to see. You fought all guys. So, like, I'm not being funny. We want to see that fight. So, personally, I think that fight's happening to my understanding. I think they're looking to make that fight in February. But unless I hear a date and unless I see it confirmed by both fighters and their teams, I am not believing a word. I ain't believing none of it. Diddly squat. It's all BS. I don't want to hear it. These men are not going to get in the ring. Yeah? They're shook of each other. I don't know what it is, fam. I don't know what it is. It's pride and ego at this point. And these men, I don't understand it from even a business perspective. Like, bruv, think about it, yeah? Think about it. Think about it, yeah? These men are welterweights. They could have fought 3 times in that year against B-level opposition and probably would have made more money and been better conditionally in terms of sharpness and activity, etc., than waited a whole year waiting for this matchup only for it to do, even if it does like great numbers, you're going to probably make more from fighting 3 times a year, and probably it's better for your career in general. So I do not understand what the issue is in the negotiation. It's not like this is an AJ or Canelo where they're huge, they've got huge commercial deals out of the blue. Yeah, they got so much commercial deals, and you want to make sure that you're not in jeopardy of any of them. They're not on that level. They're not on that level. So why they're not getting into the ring? It's a very, it's almost. I'm very confused as what it is, fam. Billion pound businesses have made commercial deals with each other. That's been far quicker than this fight, bruv. Chelsea was sold, well, under the jurisdiction of the government, but it was sold within what 3-4 months, and that's worth what 3-4 billion pounds. And you're telling me these men can't schedule a fight between themselves for about 50 to 20 million pounds? Are you taking the piss here? You taking the piss here? Um, very poor. Who the hell is putting up that Crawford Avenisian fight? Great question. Great question. Somebody got to lose a lot of money because them guys can't sell out a phone booth, bruv. Activity. Okay, if you are constantly active, yeah, bruv, and you're fighting in different lands, different territory, the whole world doesn't revolve around America. You know, it's peak. If Terence Crawford came to the UK, if that fight happened in the UK under the zone, that fight probably make a lot of money. I'm just being as honest as possible. That's probably if it was in Sky Sports in the UK, it would make more money than it is in the US. Pretty sure. Okay. Spence has been ducking. If a fighter says he wants to collect all the world before he fights you, he is scared. Bruv. Speak. All the excuses are coming out from Errol A side Spence. Bruv, I don't understand. Errol, why is Errol the A side? Why is Errol the A side? Only one of them has been undisputed at a weight class, and that was Terence Crawford. Errol Spence may have a greater resume in terms of the welterweight division. But if you're talking about overall career, there's levels to this. I think Terence Crawford's already surpassed me. 1, 2, 3 weight world champion. He's an undisputed champion at one of the weights, maybe unified at the weight below that. Well, fam, his peak. All the excuses. And who misses out? The fans. But it is what it is, fam. It's just peak, fam. It's peak on the streets. Like you know, said, Avedisian. Do I think this is a good fight? It's tough. It's very tough to call. Avedisian, I like him. And the way he boxes, I like him. it's a credible name for Terrence. It's a very credible name because I rate Avedi's top 10, top 15 level, and so I can understand why he was about Avedi's next. It is a bit of a short notice, but regardless of that, I'm very happy that if he does fight Avenisian, I'm not going to be one that be like, oh, what's he doing? Oh, nah, because Avenisian's a good fighter, good opponent. There was the Conor Benoit fight is out the way, but it is what it is. Now in terms of going forward, speak is having a boogeyman like Al Heyman a good thing? No. I don't know what Al Heyman is, fam. And to be fair, hold on. It depends on what they do in the boardroom and the negotiation table, because I've not heard one interview for Roman Abramovich in my life. Not one. I don't even know how he sounds like. And he's been one of the most successful business owners, sports business owners in England for what, 20 years. Seem very, very competitive. So being silent is not the issue. It's having no governance is the issue. Because Bob Arum and Don King, they're loud as they are loud as whatever. Yeah. And the stuff that they come out with is utter garbage. Utter garbage. So you could have your cake and like it's one of them ones. It's a bit, I'm saying. But because there's no governance, there's no people that can take a promotional license off you for misconduct or bad practices or bringing the sport into disrepute. These men are just going to do whatever. Sometimes he's no different than human or the scheming Bob Arum. Exactly. And these men need to get the hell out of boxing. I'm probably the more like Al Heyman fighters are just they're in like another world. Bro, there is some like Hugh Hefner house, all just they don't even, I don't even think they see daylight. Half of them, they fight each other. Hella secluded, bro. I don't know what these men are on. And you know what's crazy? I'd barely see fighters leave Al Heyman, yeah, and talk. But I've not heard a fighter talk bad about Al Heyman in my life. In my life, I've not heard anyone talk bad about Al Heyman. Okay, and yet the fights are not being made. Like it's confusing. Yeah, the only person actually no tell a lie. The only person that I've heard put a little bit of a dig or a little bit of disrespect to Al Heyman was Adrian Broner. But Adrian Broner does it with everyone. But he doesn't. Do you know what? Even Adrian Broner didn't even go in. Adrian Broner. How peak that is. Fam, hold on. One last thing. Actually, no. Yeah, you gotta go 45. We do a couple more minutes. We're 15 minutes. It's been an amazing show, guys. I really appreciate all the love, care, and support that you guys have been showing me on the channel. Lastly, Creed. Now, I haven't watched the first two films, I must say. And I'm willing to watch it. I'm willing to watch it, the first two films, but the third film, and I haven't seen the trailer because I might do a reaction to it, but I'm hearing it's very good. I was thinking about doing a watch along for the film, but it's peak because how are we gonna do it without? Yeah, it's very peak. Or I might do a movie review on it. Let me know if you guys want to see that on Creed. It hopefully is a good film. I haven't watched the first two to be fair, so don't shoot me. I haven't really been watching. To be fair, I've not watched a lot of boxing films. To be fair, but I'm gonna have a look at it and then like I'm gonna be jumping on the bandwagon. Like I'm gonna do a review straight after that. Whenever it's out, we're gonna do a review. It's gonna be sick. As well as, do you know what? We could do it from a boxing fan perspective as well, because a lot of people who watch that fight or watch the movie probably going to be it from a casual market. So, like, I want to see the technicality of it. Like how good are they physically? How good is Michael B. Jordan on a technical level? I know Tony Bailey's in it, so you know Tony Bailey will be watching my man. You know he wants to get home to his wife and kids. Shout out Lauren. Have you seen Don King's next card? It's called the fight for reparation. God damn, flipping no. Oh my goodness. Bruv, the fight for nah. Don King, he must be stopped, guys. We must stop him. He's nuts. Carlos is an example of wasted talent on the BBC. They could be far bigger in the sport. They can. But you know what's crazy? They're happy to be there. I don't know what, bruv. I don't know what hypnotic stuff is going on. Like, it's weird, isn't it? It's weird, isn't it? Like, they're just happy to be there. You see, they're thinking, bro, you're not getting the fights. Like, what are you man on? Go watch them. They are good. The first Credo. Oh yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch it. I'll do. You know what? When I finish watching it, I'll do a movie review on it, and then I'll let you guys know how it is. You know, I'll do a review on the first one. I'll do a review on the second one. Maybe on the lead up to the third one, like straight after that, we'll do it for the third one as well. Weird. How do you do a movie review? Because I was gonna do watch along about a reaction, whether it's Paramount. I don't know who's doing it from 21st Century. Is it not 21st? Rob, whoever Lionsgate, these men are going to be on your neck, bro. If you do that stupid Bandulu stuff here, some pirated stuff here, no pun intended, but some pirated stuff here, fam, your OTC of the Cameras Boxing YouTube channel will be blocked, fam. It will be. That's automatic relegation battle, fam. Relegation battle. But we do have a couple of shows next week as well. We've got the Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva card. This should be a very decent card, or fight to be fair. Anderson Silva is a formidable opponent. I think he's one of the best MMA fighters for actually boxing. So in the boxing ring, he's actually been decent. And Jake Paul, on the other hand, decent fighter. Decent. But I do hope that, in a weird way, I do hope he wins, because I want to see him coming up against KSI, and KSI could smash his head in, bro. Smash his head in. Like, that would be glorious. We also got where's the animation? How they here? Where they go? Apologies, guys. Don't know what my man's on. Ignore him. We also got Katie Taylor next. We're going to do watch along for Katie Taylor. We're going to do watch along for Jake Paul, and we're going to do a watch along for another one. Our guy, Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily will be back next week. Should be an exciting encounter. Should be an exciting affair. I'm excited. I'm excited for that one. Onwards upwards, guys. We're going to be doing. When's the next video out? When it's tough because there's not a lot of boxing this weekend, so probably at the start of next week as well. But until next time, it's been a glorious show. Appreciate all of the love, care, and support for my birthday as well, guys. It was on Monday. And that was a good day as well. Big 25. So yeah, onwards and upwards, and yeah, it was good. It was good as well. And that day was mad as well. That day was mad. Like, our phone was just popping off. I was like, flipping out, bro. Flipping out. It's mad. Katie Taylor scorecards have already been printed. Nah, don't say that, man. I like Katie, man. Shout out Katie Taylor. Shout out Katie Taylor. Like, do you know what? We're gonna be having conversations of who's the GOAT. And I'm like, we're gonna do a pound for pound show next week. Pound for pound. We'll wait till Dillian White fight. It's tough. No, at the end of the year, because it makes no sense doing it now. It makes no sense because we need to know who's basically. I was going to do heavyweight rankings, but yeah, it's a bit peak now. We can't do it now. Pound for pound. Who's pound for pound actually? Lomachenko's fighting as well. Okay, so we might. Who else is pound for pound? Let me go box Shrek. Frank Warren's best thing. We haven't even talk about that, bro. Because Otto Walling, by the time you know, he was linked to Touch Fury. He was about 60th ranked in BoxRec, but now BoxRec is the glorious thing. And okay, but Turbiev not fighting, Shakur Stevenson just for Errol Spence not fighting anyway. Just fought, but I don't know if he's got another fight coming up. Paul Butler, yes, he's got Paul Butler coming out. Oh yeah, undisputed fight, and that will happen December the 12th. Who else is fighting? Got AJ not fighting end of the year. Alexander Usyk not fighting end of the year. Terence Crawford fighting Avanesian. Golovkin not fighting end of the year. Don't think so. Bivol fighting soon. I think Bivol's fighting the 5th of November. And Canelo is not suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commission. For what? What the flip? Have I missed something, guys? What happened? What the flip? What's going on here? Why is he suspended? What's he done? Suspended by the Nevada Athletic Commission until November, the 2nd of November. The flip's he done? Is it an injury? Let me double check. Nevada Commission. So what exactly has he done? Or is it like a computer thing? What the fuck is this guy done? Huh? Guys, maybe it's an error. Must be an error. In Nevada, if you get KO or stopped, it's a suspension. He beat Golovkin. He lost to Bivol, but that was on points. And then before that, we never fought this year. Concussion protocol. That's it. Makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. I just saw his name and it's a suspended. The fuck? 6 months. If it's suspension, it's probably going to be a concussion. It's probably going to be 6 months. 6 months between the November the 2nd was the Bivol fight, which was May the 7th, which is exactly 6 months. Exactly 6 months. Makes sense. Makes sense. The 2nd is on a weekend, isn't it? The 2nd's on a Wednesday. Makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. That's yeah. I'm happy with that explanation. Yeah, it's hard to do half of our list now. Speak. Yeah, we'll hold that off for that thought in the meantime. We'll hold that thought off in the meantime. But anything pressing that comes, we'll be do reactions on those ones immediately, guys. But until next week, peace, love, and prosperity, guys. And of course, like I always say, I'm gonna catch you next video. Much love for all the birthday wishes, care and support that you guys have been showing to the channel. Yeah, let's smash 600 subs. Peace.